Okay, looking at questions 1 through 5 on page 61. We already did 1 and 2 in your notes. We did this today. We did ratio tables. Number 3, we have not done already. It says an 8-ounce cup of gourmet coffee costs $4.50. If the unit price remains the same, how much would 3 quarts of coffee cost? So 8 ounces is 1 cup, and it costs $4.50. I need to know how many ounces are in a quart, and then how many ounces are in 3 quarts. I'm showing work on separate paper. Therefore, you should be too. Do you need time to go and get a separate sheet? Raise your hand if that is a yes. Don't talk. I don't want to hear any talking. Okay. On your extra paper, question number 3 is what we're working on. I know that 8 ounces is a cup. What do I know about other ounces and other cups? And have you talked about the big G? Raise your hand if you're familiar with the big G. You should have learned it in 4th or 5th grade. What do you remember about the big G? It's got some things in it. 4 things to be exact. Hold on. What do you remember about the big G? Close to a B, but not quite. There's C's in there. What else?
There are 4 Q's in the G.
4 Q's. Each Q is a quart. And in each quart, what's in there? Pints. Good. How many pints?
4.
2 pints. In each quart.
Each pint has 3 or 4 C's each.
Too many.
3.
Too many.
2.
2 cups in each pint. So write little C's inside those P's. And each cup has 8 ounces. So if I look at a quart, how many cups are in a quart? Look at all those C's in there. 4 cups in a quart. So if 4 cups are a quart, how many ounces would that be? One cup is 8 ounces. This would be 32 ounces. Make a ratio table to understand this a little bit more. Row. Give it 3 columns in the middle. And justify. I have ounces and quarts and then cost. If I have 8 ounces, this is what they gave me, so it is given. How much of a quart is that? One quart is 32, so how much is 8 ounces? Is it a whole quart? It's 1/4. Good. It's a small part of it. So 1/4 here. And that costs how much according to my question?
Well, 1 cup equals 450.
450. Okay, stop there. Now, I've gotten each part of my ratio table down packed. What is it asking me for, though? I want how many quarts, according to the question?
3 quarts.
3 quarts. So this column needs to have 3 in here. I'm going to put it toward the bottom to give myself some room to work with it. So if 1/4 of a quart is 8 ounces and 1 quart is 32, how do I get from 1 to 3? Huh? Oh, wait, pause. I don't know how much it costs for 32 ounces. How do I get from 8 to 32? How do I get from 1/4 to 1? So what do I need to do to this 450? Times 4. I'm doing the same thing to each part of my row. So 450 times 4, come over to the side. 4 times 5. And 4 times 4 plus 2.
Well, that is the...
And place my decimal.
Between 8 and 0.
So it's $18 for 32 ounces. And what did I do to row A? I multiplied it by 4. 4A. But how do I get from 1 quart to 3 quarts? Times 3. I don't even need all this room. Go to 3 quarts. Get rid of this right here. So whatever I do to this column, I have to do to the ounces and the dollars. So 32 times 3. 96 is the number of quarts or number of ounces in 3 quarts. And then $18 times 3 is how much? 3 times 8.
Well, that is 24.
And 3 times 1 plus 2.
Well, that's 5.
So how much is it for 3 quarts of coffee?
54. I found the answer faster.
3B. It's fine. It's not a race. Okay? $54 for 3 quarts of coffee.
I found the answer.
Now, going on to question number 4. It says, which of the following scenarios represents the greatest percent change? Percent change. Not just change, percent change. A student grew from 60 inches to 66 inches. A board that measures from 17 inches is cut and now is 11 inches. A refrigerator that was originally priced at $630 is now $441. Or a man increased his weight from 170 to 185. So, yesterday in your notes, I told you how to find percent change. Somebody raise their hand and tell me what this little setup ratio thing looks like. That means flip back to your notes from yesterday and look for percent change.
On the top is amount of change, on the bottom is original amount.
Amount of change. And then what's on the right?
100.
Over original amount. And then multiply it by 100. Now, this is the same as setting up a proportion that says the change, same thing as the amount of change, over the original is X out of 100. I'm still going to cross multiply by 100 and divide by the original. Here I'm dividing by the original, and up here I'm multiplying by 100 because this is technically 100 over 1. Does everybody see that correlation? These two are the same. Now, I need to find how many different changes. 4. I need to find F, G, H, and J and figure out which one is the greatest. So, F, G, H, J. I need my new number, I need my original, and I need the amount of change. Then I'm going to make this as a fraction, change out of original. For letter F, a student grew from 60 inches. That's where he started. Oops. I need to switch these around. Original and new. Switch them. Hold on. Okay, my bad. Change this to original. He said they needed help. And change this to new. What's up? Oh. Here. All right, my original number is 60 and my new height is 66. How much did it change by? 6. And then what's the original number that I started with? 6 out of 60. There's one ratio. The next one, it says a board that measures 17 inches. That's where I start. And it now measures 11 inches. What's the difference between 17 and 11? 6 again. But what is my original? 6 out of 17. There's my second ratio. H, a refrigerator that was originally priced at $630 is now $441. Start with $630, end with $441. What's the difference? How do I find it? Subtract $630 minus $441. Cross out the 3. Now I can subtract 10 minus 1 is
9.
Cross out the 5 or the 6, make it a 5. 12 minus 4 and 5 minus 4. 1. This is 189 divided by 630. And then J. A man's weight starts at 170 and it goes up to 185. What's the change there? 15 out of what? 170. Okay? Now I need to know these as percents. So in order to turn these into a percent, what do I have to do? Multiply and divide. So, letter F. 6 out of 60, x out of 100. I can actually simplify this. 6 out of 60. What goes into 6 and 60? 10 cannot go into 6. 6 goes into them. So what's 60 divided by 6? What is this as a percent? Cross multiply and divide. It's 10%. Good. For letter G, make your proportion. 6 out of 17 is the same as x out of 100. Okay, I got to do a little bit more work here. Cross multiply, then divide. 6 times 100 over 17. 600 over 17. Not 17 divided by 600. Read top to bottom, left to right. 600 divided by 17. What's an easy way to divide here? What do I need?
Chart.
Not a chart, but my... What's going to help me figure this out? Not my multiplication chart, but my multiple. 17. What's the next multiple? 34. What's the next multiple? 40. No. 51. What's the next one?